Hi there, it's David Young, the Resourceful Coach, and what we're going to talk a little bit about today is consistency, but we're going to talk about playing your iron shots. And for me, the mind is so important when you play golf. And when we talk about the word consistency, that's where we start to get the problems, because mentally we're not thinking the same things. Now, through my videos, if you've watched a few of them, we talk a lot about data, we talk about your level. And I think that's such a great starting point when you look at consistency. What should I be achieving for my level? Now, we've given ourselves that sort of shot. We've got the 150 marker there. We've got 150 yards up to that green. So that shot, we all get in a round of golf. And the goal is to understand, for our levels, what's a good shot. So from 150 yards, for me as a scratch golfer, anything around about 30, 35 feet is good. So you're looking at that, and some greens you might think, well, that's just hitting the green. That would be great. There's no problem. My mental picture is if I can get down in 3 from here, I'm doing exactly what I need to do as a scratch golfer, as a professional golfer. If I do better, I'm gaining. If I do a little bit worse, I'm losing. So we look at the different levels. If we look at a play around about 80, again, anywhere on that green, we're talking around about 50 feet is good. And for anybody shooting around about 90, if you can get within 10, 15 yards of the green, we're not talking the flag, the green, you're doing exactly what you need to do. Okay, so when we get to that level, we're looking at nearly taking 4 shots to get into the hole. So, consistency. This is the key thing. So I'm going to talk you a little bit through what I do when I play a shot. And the first thing always, once I've got that number, is then I start to look at the conditions, i.e. this is a little bit uphill. It's dead calm today, there's no real wind, so that's lovely. So I don't have to worry about that today. But we're looking at it and it's realizing, yeah, how's that going to affect the shot? How's that going to affect what I'm going to do when I play this shot going uphill? So I would say my 7-iron is around about a 155 club. Because I'm going uphill at 150, it's now the perfect club on these conditions. But now the next bit is the key thing. It's the ball fly. Start to imagine what I want the ball to do. Now, because it is a calm down, I'm just thinking normal ball flight. And that brings in a couple of key things in my stance that I make sure I do right. Firstly, when I set up to the ball, if I'm looking for a normal shot, I play the ball, for me, smack in the middle of my stance. Okay? And what's important to understand is if I change the ball position, I very rarely change it unless I have to. And the only time I probably change it is when it's a little bit windier, I'll move the ball back in my stance. Okay, now in Britain, we tend to get quite windy days, so that will happen probably a few shots every round. But I want to keep it as consistent as I can. So really I've got 2 shots, my central ball position or slightly back in my stance. Do I ever move the ball forward? I'd probably say I might move it forward, a specialist shot because of something in my way, once or twice a year. That's the key thing there, a year. So I don't change that very often. So straight away, there's the consistency. I've only got two ball positions to work with. Then the next thing I look at is my width of stance. If it's a normal shot, I play it central and I have my normal width of stance. If I'm probably playing a ball with a little bit more of a punch, low, then what I would do is I might narrow the stance slightly to control it, and I'll probably hit 1 more club. So you can see only 2 ball positions, then 2 widths of stance. So see how simple I'm keeping it. I'm not changing it every shot. So we're going to play 5 balls up to this green. Remember what we said, anything round about 30, 35 feet is a really good shot. It's a little bit of a hanging lie. So I'm going to learn a little bit as I go along. I think this is the right club. Never liked that ball below my feet. It's not my favourite shot. Okay, but let's see what we get. Learn from each shot. And we'll take the camera up onto the green at the end and see our 5 results and see what my average was today. Okay, so that's online, looks good. Now, have I got the right club? Yep, that's on the green. So, what am I going to change? Absolutely nothing, because the key word is consistency. I'm happy with that shot. 35 feet I'll take. I think that's around about that number. So why would I change anything? Okay, don't look for the perfect shot. That's the problem. People are looking for the perfect shot and then it puts pressure on you. The whole idea of my lessons, take the pressure off you. Happy with that? Let's go with it again. Well, that was a nicer strike. Bang on line. Well, from how that bounced, I would think that's going to be a little bit close to the hole. So that's great. And again, that just brings up your confidence. Okay, we're looking for consistency. Am I going to change a thing? Of course I'm not. What I've allowed to change there is just let my instinct take over and trust what I'm doing. That's really important. That keyword, belief, trust. Let's see if we can do it a third time. So far, 2 shots, 1 happy with, 1 very happy with. Really good. Let's see if we can do it again. Same idea again. Okay, now that one wasn't quite as good a strike, but it's on a good line. I'd say I'm around my 35 feet again. But again, stick to the same process. Get the club in the right position. Feel that's going to fit the ball flight that you've imagined. Set up to the ball. Play. So I'm keeping the same consistency. The mind isn't changing. That's why the swing is remaining the same. Well, out of the 4 so far, that's the best strike of the lot. And again, I'd say that's got to be inside 20 feet. But because it is a raised green, we don't know. We can only go from experience of playing this hole. But that's 4 good shots. Am I going to change anything? Of course I'm not. I'm going to do exactly the same thing again. Again, bang on line. Oh, that got a big bounce. Okay, so we'll see when we get up there. Okay, so because I trusted what I know works for me, I just kept doing it. And that's the important thing. Find those things that work for you. For me, aim the club, get the ball position correct, get the width of stance correct. If those 3 factors are good, and then I can just make a nice smooth swing, we've got 5 results there. Let's go and have a look at what they are. Okay, we're going to turn the camera off and go up there. I'm going to replace all those divots before we wander up to the green, and we'll go and see what our results are on those shots. But I'm pretty happy with them, but that doesn't guarantee the results are going to be what we want, but we'll have a look when we get there. So I've made our way up onto the green, and it's quite interesting. You hit the shots, and I thought they were really good shots, but the results maybe not quite as good as I thought they were going to be. Okay, so we're going to start, we're going to have a little bit of a wander. We're going to go down to the first ball, and that's the one on the very far right. Thought that was a good shot. It only just crept on the green. How far are we away? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 paces. Okay, let's pick that one up. So 18 paces, let's get my brain working. We're looking around about 45, 50 feet. And there's another ball there. Okay, I think that was the 3rd or 4th ball. So we've got a couple of balls around 50 feet. Now, this is where golfers can get a little bit upset. But let's look at it. Let's look at the data. 35 feet for a scratch golfer is a putt. On average, you're going to take 2.1 putts. Okay, that means you are going to 2-putt it 90% of the time. You are going to 3-putt it 10% of the time. We now get closer to 40, 50 feet, it only becomes a 2.2, 2.25 putt. So you've only lost about 0.1 of a shot. It's still in your favour that you are going to 2-putt that. You're going to get down in 3 from the original position. So it's quite important. So mentally, you don't get up to the ground, oh, dreadful, look how much further I'm away. Is think that's okay. Now, because I didn't change my process, let's just get rid of those 2 balls. This was the one I really liked, okay, and I thought this was inside 10 feet, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so about 15 feet, but that's way under my average. That's brilliant. Okay, I'm going to take that all day long, 15 feet. So I've gone from a 2.1 average putt to now at a 1.9. I'm going to hold that 10% time, but look what I'm doing. I'm still on average going to be down in 2. Okay, this one's going to be a little bit further. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 20 feet. And this one might actually be the closest. This is the one that got the really big bounce. That was the last ball, but I'm off the green. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Amazingly, the closest ball of the lot. So if we look at that data, the best shots ended up about a 10% chance I'm probably going to get down in 2. The worst shot has ended up around about a 20% chance I'm going to get down in 3 from that position, okay? So there's not that big a difference as we go through it. There's only around about a 20% difference on what I'm actually going to do. So in that case, 80% of the time here, I'm going to get down in 2 putts in all of those putts. So I haven't really changed, and that's why I like my data, because what it allows you to do is take the pressure off you. And that's where then we go back to the original shot. I keep that consistency because I know anywhere on that green is good. Every now and again I'm going to stick one right by the hole. Bonus. And as Jack Nicklaus said, if I hit one perfect shot in a round of golf, I've had a great day. So if you can get that consistency, why he was the best player of his era, on average his best shots were as good as everybody else's, but his average shot was better than their average shot. And that really, if you think about it, that's what makes a lower handicap golfer. That's what we want to make you when you go out and play, that you're thinking as you go out, what's my average? Can I make that better? By keeping my thoughts simple, I just thought about aiming the club, consistent ball position, consistent width of stance, consistent rhythm and tempo. I put all 5 balls pretty much on the green. I'm going to get down in 3. That's what I should do for my level. So I'm going to keep that consistency. I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson, and today's video I should say. It's going through creating consistency. Take it into every shot you play. Start maybe with some shorter shots, some pitching shots, and develop it from there. If you have enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and I look forward to seeing you soon.